Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the measurement of the shear strength. In the present lecture, let us discuss about the triaxial test. Triaxial test. We can also call it as a triaxial shear stress. As of now, we have seen the box shear test. So there are some advantages and disadvantages. The main disadvantage is that the failure plane is preno. That means the failure plane is always horizontal. But in practical, it is not mandatory that you will have the failure plane always along the horizontal direction. So for the box shear test also, it is having their own advantages and the disadvantages. The advantage is that it is complex skill labor is not required and the experiment is very quite easy to operate. Now, let us discuss about the triaxial shear or triaxial test. And by using this equipment, we all can also measure the shear strength of the any type of soil sample. So, before moving on to understanding the procedure, let us just present graphical representation of the equipment. So, here in the triaxial test, there will be some cylindrical soil sample and this cylindrical soil sample that will be surrounded by the rubber membrane. This is surrounded by the rubber membrane, and at the top and bottom we will have the some porous disc that will be placed to allow the pore water pressure. So here we can call it as a porous disc, and it is in the glass chamber. So even though the diagram not looks correct, but let us say that it is surrounded by some glass chamber, and in between the glass chamber and the soil sample it is filled with the water pressure. So in this test this triaxial test is used to measure the shear strength of the soil sample. And first thing is that we will use the rubber membrane. So this rubber membrane is used to avoid the direct contact between the soil and water. This rubber membrane is used to avoid the direct contact, between soil and water. Okay. Now, let us understand the mechanism behind this triaxial test. Here you can see triaxial. That means tri means what? Three-dimensional. So in this test, we will apply the stresses along the three mutual perpendicular directions. After that, we will increase one of the stress such that the specimen will be failure by the shear. So here, because of this water pressure, it is surrounded throughout the soil. So that's why because of this water pressure, we will have the stresses that are acting along the three mutual perpendicular direction. Suppose if I represented 2D sample, so here let us say that instead of representing, if I represent the 2D soil sample and the soil sample is all surrounded by the water pressure, that pressure is called it as a confining pressure that will act in around all the directions. That is called the confining pressure. Let me represent with sigma c. After that, we will increase any one of the stress until the failure will go under failure. So in the total experiment there are two stages. The first stage, it is nothing but a, we will call it a cell pressure, we will call it as a cell pressure or We will also call it as a consolidation stage. And the second stage is called the shear stage. That means in this stage the soil is going to the failure, or we can also call it as a deviator stage. So let us discuss these two in briefly. So at first I am talking about the cell pressure. So in this first stage, the entire soil is under the confined by the water. Because of the confinement of the water, the compression stresses will act on the soil sample. So that's why it is also called as a confining pressure that is acting all around the soil. See here, I will call it as a confining pressure that acts all around soil. So that's why as it is acting as a confining pressure, I will represent as sigma subscript C. So in general, if you are talking about the soil, there will be some major principal stress, minor principal stress, and also intermediate principal stress. So that's why in this case, the minor principal stress that will be taken as the confining pressure. For the draining condition, the expulsion of pore water will be permitted by opening the valves. And for undrained conditions, the valves will be kept closed. Okay. In drained condition, the consolidation is completed when the pore water pressure stops and change in volume of soil is equal to the change in water collected. So in general, we can conduct a drained condition or also we can conduct the undrained condition. If you want to allow the consolidation, then we will keep our valves open and we will allow the water to escape through it. And then we will keep the valves open until the volume of pore water pressure stops. At the stage, as we are allowing the draining of water, the soil sample volume is also changes. So the soil sample volume will be equal to the volume of the water collected. If you want to do it for the undrained condition, then the valves were kept closed and there will not be any change in the volume. So this is what about the cell pressure or the confining pressure. Now let us talk about the shear stage. As the name itself implies, in this case the soil specimen is undergoing to the failure. So after the completion of the consolidation, we will increase one of the stress such that the soil specimen is undergoing to be the failure. So that's why, and we have already discussed that this is also called it as a deviator stress. As it is going to the failure, I am representing with sigma df. That will be equal to load applied divided by area of cross section at the failure. So suppose if I am talking about the soil specimen, at first what we are doing, we are applying the confining pressure. Let us say what about this magnitude sigma 3, or as it is a confining pressure we are representing the sigma c. After that, let us assume that we are increasing the stress along one dimension, that means along the vertical direction. In this state the soil is going to the failure, that's why I'm going with sigma d subscript f. And let us say that along the third dimension we are having the intermediate stress. So what about the major stress at the failure? So the major stress at the failure is nothing but a, in this case, confining pressure plus deviator stress. So here we can talk about deviator stress at the time of failure plus sigma 3, that is also nothing but a confining pressure, right? Now here, as we have already discussed that this experiment can be conducted either uh, within draining condition or we can conduct in the undrained condition. So if you are using undrained condition, we will use the pore water pressure. If you are using the drained condition, we can use the effective stress parameters. We already know that. That means what is the effective stress? That is nothing but a total stress minus pore water pressure. And in this triaxial test, there will be a facility to measure the pore water pressure at any time. Okay, this is the basic principle. And what we'll do, we will not change the confining pressure. We will apply the deviator stress such that the spoil specimen is undergoing to the failure. Suppose if I draw the Mohr circle diagram, in first experiment I will fix some confining pressure and I will apply the deviator stress such that the soil specimen will undergo the failure. And after that I will apply some, or I will increase the confining pressure in another experiment, and I will draw the failure pattern. Like that, if you draw for different samples, then if you join the points which are having the maximum shear stress, then this is what nothing but your failure envelope for the particular type of soil sample. Okay, now if you are conducting experiment under the drained condition, then what will happen? There will be change in volume, and also there will be change in the cross sectional area. So if I want to find out the volumetric corrections, then how can I do it? Initial volume plus or minus change in volume. As we have already discussed that in this experiment, the height of the soil sample may decrease or increase, but the cross-section area remains constant. So that's why if I take common of area of cross-section, then I will express the volume change in terms of the H naught is nothing but initial soil thickness plus or nothing but a change in thickness of the soil sample. And from this, if I want to find out the cross-section area, that I can written as a V naught plus or minus delta V divided by H naught plus or minus change in soil thickness. And if we take V naught common and H naught common, then V naught by H naught, that is nothing but a volume at the initial position 1 plus we will get the volumetric strain divided by 1 minus we will get the longitudinal strain, right? Suppose if your drainage is not permitted, if drainage is not permitted, will there be any change in volume? No. As there is no change in volume, then what about your volumetric strain? Zero. If your volumetric strain is equal to zero, then what about the cross section at a constant time? That is nothing but a naught. Sorry, it is nothing but a naught divided by 1 minus EL. EL is nothing but a longitudinal strain. And this, if I represent this in terms of some correction factor, A naught into some correction factor. So that correction factor I am representing with CF. So that correction factor is equal to, we can write it in as 1 minus 1 divided by 1 minus longitudinal strain. So this is what the mechanism and analysis of the conduction of the triaxial test. So at first we will keep the soil sample in the cylindrical sample. After that we will apply the confining pressure, and depending upon the drainage and undrained condition, it will take some time. After reaching the certain time, we will start increasing the, or we will start applying the deviator stretch until you will increase the deviator stretch until the soil is going to be failure. So at that point we can note down the deviator stress. So by that we can obtain the sigma 1 major principal stress and minor principal stress, and by using those two values and by using the failure criteria relations, we can obtain the failure pattern, and after drawing the Mohr circle graphical representation. And there are more advantages and disadvantages in the triaxial test. What are the advantages? And compare failure plane will always not be the weakest plane. Unlike in box shear test, the failure plane is not always horizontal. And also in this triaxial test, we have complete control over the drainage conditions. Either we can conduct the experiment in by allowing the drainage or by not allowing the drainage, and also by allowing the pore water pressure parameters. So in this experiment, we can also measure the pore water pressure. And as we are using the cylindrical sample, the stress distribution is uniform. And what are the limitations? So the limitation is nothing but this experiment is more complicated compared to the direct shear test. And suppose if you are talking about the cohesive soils, so if you are allowing the consolidation in the cohesive soils, that will take the so much long time when compared to the direct shear test. And during this test, it is very difficult to find out the uh, total area at the failure point. Okay, this is what about the triaxial test and its advantages, limitations, and the mechanism. In the next video, we will discuss about the what are the types of tests that we can conduct. Okay, thank you.